Hi, welcome back to Keeping the Real in Real Estate with I'm Emily with Premier Home Inspection, and today we have our friend Don Burt with Century 21 Realty and Auction. He is a realtor and auctioneer and has been in real estate for 19 years. Don, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad for you to be here too. Thank you so much. We want to jump right in with some questions so we can be aware of your time. So the first question I want to know is, what's your story? What got you into real estate? And if you just don't mind to share a little bit of that with us.
Yeah, sure. It really wasn't a planned thing. I was working out on the road doing commercial contracting for my dad, running one of his crews, and we were all over the country. And I would spend about a month out on the road, and then I would come back in and have a week off. And I would during the good weather, I'd play golf all week. And so I spent a lot of time out at Lakewood Country Club out here, and I was buying rental houses at the time. And I was like, it kind of interests me a little bit. I'll check into it. Checked into it, took the classes, and just took off. I came off the road, started doing real estate, and it takes a while to build up a referral base, and it takes a while to get your name out there. Real estate is one of those things where you've got to promote yourself, and if you're not used to doing that, then it takes a little time. So I fell into it. I loved it. And it just took off for me.
That's great. So, I know I've heard a lot of people say if you're not comfortable promoting yourself, this is might not be for you. So, with 19 years, clearly you figured it out and you've been doing that. So, that's great. And so, I guess you're saying promoting yourself, building up your referral business. What makes a good like client agent relationship? What makes a good fit? At least for you, I'm sure that's different depending on the agent. So.
Yeah, so early on, I found that I had more clients that were first time home buyers, and I feel like through the real estate transactions that I was going through, I didn't feel like I felt like I was just kind of being led around. I didn't feel like I was catching an education on what we were doing. And so that's what I wanted to do for those first time home buyers is educate through the process, repeating the same stuff over and over so that it sinks in so that that next real estate deal, they're not going to know everything because no real estate deal is exactly the same. So I just felt like I like educating people. I always have. And so it just came natural to me. So those were the kind of clients that I guess I put it out in the universe and it came out that way. Now, I love clients that have sold 4 or 5 houses. They're great as well. And they're already educated. And you can also still educate them because if they sold 5 years ago, the market's different.
Right.
There are new things that have been implemented in real estate. I always say real estate is constantly evolving. And if you don't acclimate to that, then you're done.
hmm Yeah, with the education piece, I've heard someone say before and we talk about this with our inspectors, like when you are inspecting a house or when someone's buying a house, you do this every day, and so things that seem not alarming to you because you're like, yeah, I've experienced that before. It'll be okay, but with them, there are certain things that will be it's super stressful and they've never done this before and it's alarming. So like being that guide to them to kind of guide them through what may be stressful, but if, you do this every day, every month, it's not going to be as stressful for you. So I like the education piece that you say on that, especially with first time home buyers because everything is new. So
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Well, and if you do a good job, this is customer service, and that's first and foremost. And I feel, if you do a good job, they come back. A lot of the first time home buyers that I used to work with and work with still are young, and their families are growing, you know. So they buy that first house, and then, oh, well, we've had another kid. We need to
Aw.
get some more square footage. So you watch their families grow, and you're able to watch them evolve. And so you know, I've got a lot of those clients that have come back to me through the years, and we laugh and we talk about, you know, remember, you know, the first time. And so they are more educated than the sellers and buyers, you know, a lot of the sellers and buyers that are out there, because they listen, and they're like sponges. Whenever you're young, you absorb everything. You know, if you give way and say, I don't know everything, you know, and you listen, that's whenever you can really educate a person.
Yes. And it's so important to be like that because, like you said, if the market's changing, then yeah, you don't know. So, um, well, okay. So I feel like I see your passion in helping and educating and working with people who are new or have done this a few times. So you seem like you like people. So what's your biggest like your why? Can you share a moment um in your career of why you do what you do that really exemplifies, why you've stayed in this for 19 years and why you enjoy what you do?
So, yeah, yeah. I think the biggest thing is you do have to like people. I love people. I love talking to people. You know, I'll talk to anybody. And I'm pumping gas. I'm talking to the person next to me. I go to Food Line. I'm talking to somebody there. First and foremost, you gotta love people, and so I think that's what keeps me in it. Elevating service, constantly, like I said, you're going to hear me say this a lot, evolving with the market, evolving with new trends in real estate. You know, we have social media now. Whenever I first got started, it was pretty much word of mouth or a sign. For years on my car, some of the best advertising I ever did. Jimmy Jernigan said, "Hey, put your name on the car. It's a billboard running through town." So that's what I did, and still to today, I still have that car. And I'll drive it through town or something, or I'll run into somebody. I still see you driving that car around. Yeah, yeah, I am. It was great advertising. It was a great way to get my name out here, and I thank Jimmy Jernigan for that. So, you know, I think real estate has so many different tasks. I'm kind of not that person that wants to sit in a cubicle and work on a computer all day.
Mhm.
I like to be out and about, and there's always something new with every transaction. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of them that are the same or similar, but I think there's so many moving parts, like with the home inspections. You know, you negotiate a price on a house. Now we're in the home inspection phase. So, you know, we go through that, termite letters and then appraisals and then anything that may pop up in the middle there. So I like, I mean, I guess you could say, well, I don't like it, but you take the good with the bad, anything that comes up. And that's what I like. You just never know. I wake up every morning. I never know how my day's going to go. I can get a phone call and I'm going this way. So.
That's the term like organizer of chaos comes to mind when you're like, here's the system that it should be, and here's all the things that could pop up as we're trying to work this system. I've tried to kind of bring an organization into this chaotic potential transactions that you have. So, but that's where the 19 years of experience, I'm sure, while it's still changing, if change is the norm, then you're ready for it. So,
Yeah, well, you know, we were talking in an ODS meeting on Wednesday, and it's something that the new owners, the Sean Wright, with Century 21, you know, we're now Century 21 Coffee County Realty and Auction, and so we do these meetings every week, and he was like, "I literally sold a house that was on fire." Well, I've done that, dude. I've been in a deal. The husband put some ashes in the garbage can out by the carport, and it caught the house on fire. The wife was Johnny on the spot. She was on the insurance company. She was on Serve Pro. We were a week away from closing, and she got everybody in there. We let everybody know. It was kind of a time where you either panic or you get it done.
Right.
And we work together. That's the thing. It's not just the real estate agent. The sellers and the buyers, they have to they have to hold their own as well. And if you give them advice, you want them to follow that advice. And because we worked cohesively, we were able to get that closed out and didn't even have to file an extension. So
That's
you never know what's going to happen.
Well, and that's one thing Brent, our owner, Brent, an inspector,
Yeah.
he always, when people are like, what's your advice that you give? He was like, get an agent. Like don't try to do this by yourself because that's an example right there, of here's, you want your house sold, you could it's not always going to be, list it and sell it. There's going to be maybe your house catches fire, but the fact that you can still close that deal, that's amazing. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, this house is on fire. Usually we're like, oh, that's great. But no, in this case,
No, it's literally on fire.
literally on fire. So, so that rolls into, we talk a lot about how every age, like every agent's different. So that means every client might have a better fit depending on the agent. What sets you apart? What's the difference that you bring to the table when it comes to working with you?
So I feel like the biggest thing in real estate is communication. Having a weekly communication where you're updating. If you've got the house listed, you're going to update them on how many views they've had, and we're going to talk about showings. I think it all starts if you have the seller. I think it all starts with the numbers. What you price a house at is crucial to how that takes off. And, I've seen through the years, and especially the last couple of years, some houses get overpriced. And I have a lot of people say this to me. Well, we want the price to be here. Maybe I have a little bit lower price in mind. And they say, well, you can't go up. You can't ever go back up. But where that gets you is you can spend too many days on the market. And if you overprice it, then your value is going to come down the more time that you spend on the market. Now, right now in real estate in Tullahoma, we're spending a little bit longer on the market. The buyers are a little bit pickier, and that's okay because they went through a time where they were eliminating home inspections and eliminating termite litters and going 40,000 over appraisals. And so they deserve a little give back too,
Yeah.
So
That's something we
yeah,
talk about going through, I guess like the 2021, 2022. You have people entering the market who are looking to buy and they forwent their home inspection. And that's one this is like an aside, but that's one thing that we have tried to capture is okay, you bought your house without kind of looking underneath the hood. Let us come in and let you know what you've got, and just to be informed of, this investment that you've made. So I like what you're saying about, okay, they've gone through that very volatile time of we just, limited inventory, several people on making offers above asking price. Okay, that goes back to your education and the evolving of the market of, okay, let me educate you on things have changed in the last 2 to 3 years. This is what we're looking at now. So that's a
yeah.
great of
I
that.
think sitting down with the client, and this was something that whenever I bought my house that I didn't have the opportunity to do. And I think if you sit down with your client and go through that home inspection, and we're going to address every item. I was out on the road whenever I bought the house that I live in now, and they faxed the home inspection to me and said, "Well, whatever you think, you want
Oh.
to have repaired, just let us know." Well, I don't know, help me through this. And so I think that's, these home inspections are great, and it's a great way to protect yourself. But you need guidance in what do I ask. And so that's where we can really help our clients, to know, also I've seen in the past where, okay, this buyer is now, okay, based on these repairs, I want $10,000 off the sale price. And then they get $10,000 off the sale price and they never fix those items.
Mm.
And then they go to sell, and what happens? The same exact items come back up. So I think it's really important that once you get that home inspection, follow through with that.
Mhm.
You got that money off the purchase price, in order to correct these issues. And so you're going to see those issues. They're not going away. So invest back into the property. This is an investment, and it's the biggest investment anybody makes.
Absolutely. Yes. I'd not thought about that perspective of, okay, you drop the price, you need to make those corrections because when it comes time to sell, maybe you drop the price then, but you're going to end up probably paying that price as well because you're going to, have to
Well,
maybe do the same. So,
yeah, and depending on what the repair is, you're going to pay that price and more.
right,
It
exactly.
doesn't get better over time.
No, no. And that's something we talk about a lot is home maintenance. Some of those big, big ticket items maybe on your home inspection can be corrected and eliminated if you are educated on the front end of, okay, you need to make these repairs or just yearly maintenance, cleaning out the gutters, replacing your filter in your home, making sure the water is being, moved away from the house. They're just little small things that don't seem that much, but time goes fast. And if you've been in a house 5, 10 years before you sell it again, especially with all this rain we've had, you can have some major issues. So,
Well, that's where, if you're a seller, get a pre-home inspection.
mm,
I think that's important. Most people don't go underneath their house.
right.
They don't know what's going on. We have a Tennessee residential property condition disclosure that everybody fills out that's selling a house in the state of Tennessee. And they don't know anything that's going on underneath the house. And I think that's where your greatest surprises are. In Coffee County, we have a soil that tends to hold water just a little bit longer than other areas. Rutherford County is limestone based soil, so it's water infiltration goes down and through pretty quick. But around here, we're going to hold moisture a little bit longer, and so that's where you've got to have an agent that's familiar with the area. But I think a pre-inspection. I think if you can get under that house and you can correct issues that maybe you didn't know about, or maybe it doesn't have a vapor barrier, and you should, go ahead. That's going to pop up. Everybody's going to ask for the vapor barrier. And depending on the loan, it's going to be a requirement, via the appraiser. So, I think that pre-inspection is a really great thing. If you eliminate those issues in the crawl space, 9 times out of 10, there's not a lot more going on up top. And if it is, the sellers have already seen it and they've corrected that.
Right. Well, and I think just, between the home inspection and the pre-listing inspection, you've hit on the importance of having a home inspection, but also about having a good partner, like with referral partners. One thing that I've always, my whole life, my dad was in the army, so he liked to, we would get these little pep talks all the time. One of the things he always told us is like, who you surround yourself with and who you, kind of your opinion and your reputation and their reputation are all kind of interwoven. So if you're going to make a recommendation of someone and they don't follow through or they don't, have the same values that you do, then that's going to directly reflect on who you are. And that carries over into business, you refer somebody how they perform is going to reflect on you. And that goes for home inspection. I mean, anybody that, if you have a plumber come out that you recommend and they don't fix it or they, whatever, that's going to reflect on you and how you are as a business partner. And so how, like, can you speak on that a little bit, having, being in Coffee County, a local agent, 19 years, what is a good referral partner mean to you and how has that helped you in your career, I guess?
So I think your dad nailed it. That's what I say. Surround yourself by excellence, and you'll be excellent. You know, growing up here, spending my life here, you know people through the years. And yes, I think that being able to say, "Hey, this is a great electrician. Hey, call this plumber." Plumbers are tough right now. It's hard to kind of find that guy. So I've got a couple in my pocket there that I refer to. But yes, being able to have somebody that is scheduled to show up and shows up, even a text to me and the client saying, "Hey, just wanted to remind you, I'm coming out today at 12." So it's who you are. I think your dad's exactly, you get somebody that you refer and they don't work out or the work isn't what it should be. Yeah, it all reflects on you. You're the person that recommended it. So I think it's very, very important, and it's very important on home inspections. Who you recommend for the home inspection. These are the people that are going to find the issues. If they don't find them, and then somebody goes to sell, which I've seen.
Mhm.
Didn't have a great home inspector, go to sell. It was something that was there for the entirety ever since they bought it. Now it pops up. Now it costs you 2, 4, 5 grand. It's going to hurt. So, yeah, this referral, knowing who to pick, and it's just through the years developing a network of people that work for you.
Mm, absolutely. Well, and I wanted, you hit on this about living in the area and you have those relationships and you've known people and probably they've come and worked on your house too and you're like they showed up and they did a good job and I've not had any issues so you can vouch for them. But I guess like that, what is going on in the real estate industry, I guess noteworthy or in the market that you can speak on? I guess, sometimes the further you get away from bigger cities, things kind of are not as, we've got rate changes. We talked about tariffs. All of that is going on. Is Coffee County like immune from that, or what's going on in the market, big picture, and how does that work, or how does that reflect in your local area?
So, Coffee County has always been a unique area. We've got so much to offer people. And I always, these people from out of state, I'm like, how did you find Tullahoma, Tennessee?
Right.
And I was talking with somebody the other day. I was like, how did you find Tullahoma, Tennessee? So, we have so much to offer being 70 miles from Nashville, 70 miles from Chattanooga, 70 miles from Huntsville, Alabama. We were kind of an insulated little economy here. What was going on in the world really didn't apply to us. Arnold Engineering and Development Centers always brought people in, and I think that's a great thing. Now, since people are moving from the West Coast and moving from the East Coast and up north as well, they're coming in. They're seeing the prices in Nashville. They're seeing the prices in Murfreesboro, Lebanon, Smyrna. They want to get a little bit further out. That's what we have to offer them. They get more bang for their buck here. And it's a great community, and it's a community that supports each other. Not to mention, we've got more churches, hospitals, and grocery stores than you can imagine. So, I think it's a unique little town. Spring is here and the market is popping. February was a little bit slow. March sped up, April really hitting now. So, if you're a seller, you get that house on the market now, you're going to miss the bus. So, Tullahoma's economy is great. And we've got some great houses that are listed, and we've got some new prospects that are coming up on the market as well. So we've got a lot to offer.
Good. I agree. I live pretty close, so it's a nice little spot to go to if you don't want to go into Murfreesboro with the traffic. You get Tullahoma. It's got everything. I feel like everything that I would need. So,
Well, I mean, we have hiking. You can canoe or kayak the Duck River. Of course, you got Jack Daniels. Our waterfalls are beautiful
oh
around
yeah.
here, and I feel like that is something that's not promoted as much. Golf courses. We've got Bear Trace. We've got Lakewood Country Club. We've got Scenic View. We've got Swanee close by. We've got a lot of. If you like golf, which I do. You like golf, we've got you surrounded here. So yeah,
I'm gonna send this to my dad because he loves golf, and I've been working on them to get down this way. They live in Kentucky, so I'm gonna be like, "Look, you need to watch this video." So, well, we're running out of time. I just want to end with one. I want to thank you for your time and for your expertise and sharing everything with us. But I also want to ask, is there an ask that you have or anything that you're looking for, that, we're gonna put this on the web. Is there anything you'd like to ask for?
sellers, give me a call, 931-273-7794. If you're looking to sell in the Tullahoma area, give me a call. We need some great houses. We need to hit the market while it's hot. Again, first time home buyers, you want somebody that's going to take time with you, that's going to educate you, that's going to communicate with you. Call me. Even if you think your credit score isn't great right now, again, this reflects back to the network of people. Let me put you with a local lender that even if your credit score isn't that great, maybe not now's not the time, maybe 6 months down the line, maybe 3 months down the line. Work with these lenders. It doesn't cost you anything to use their knowledge, because I do. I use their knowledge. Use their knowledge to help you know what to pay off to get that credit score up. Rent is 100% interest. And people talk about the interest rate being high right now, but I'd much rather have a 7% interest rate or a 6.5 or a 6 than 100.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Dawn. I really appreciate your time. And again, this is Emily with Keeping the Real in Real Estate. And until next time, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Emily.